calm biker here. What a lovely day it is. It's a really posh entrance, isn't it? One of Lord Hepcat's country retreats, I think. And this will probably see a few bikes go past because this is a bit of a biker road. I'm here with the animal that is the toy. I think I'm just going to call it the animal. I think that works. It's how it feels when it's on the road. Today I want to talk about full control again. And this time it's exercise number 3. Steering exercise number 3, I should say. So this is another addition to steering exercises 1 and 2. Steering exercise 3 is adding in throttle control. And my tyres are going a bit shiny. It's bringing in throttle control into the exercise. So, seeing as I'm down here looking at my slightly shiny tyre, I think I've got some cleaner on it or something. Looking at my slightly shiny tyre, might as well talk about what the throttle control's all about. Now, the idea is, if I can go past, the idea is that when you're cornering, the steeper the bend, or the tighter the bend, or the faster you're going, the more you're going to be leaning in. And as you're leaning the bike, you're moving from this area of the tyre to, well, for me, about there. Looking at my chicken strip, as it might be called. And, yeah, I'm fine. Squatting down, looking at the back of a bike while bikers go past. Always get that look, don't you? So you're moving from this bit of the tyre to this bit of the tyre. And this has got a smaller circumference than this. So to go at the same speed, this needs to travel faster. So that's the underlying problem. Now, what does that mean in practice? It means that as you lean over, one or two things is going to happen. Either the tyre is going to speed up, so the wheel's going to rotate faster, and you're going to maintain the same speed overall, or you're going to slow down because the tyre's rotating at the same speed, but it's on a smaller bit of the tyre, so you're not going as quick. What actually happens is somewhere in between if you don't do anything with the throttle. You slow down a bit, and also you'll hear the thing spin a bit faster. You'll hear the engine revs rise as the wheel spins faster. Now, the idea of steering exercise number 3 is to remove that, because there's a problem associated with that. This is according to the document. This is not my words, although I think it's probably pretty accurate. If you imagine that you're in a bend and you start to slow down by applying a bit of back brake, that's going to transfer weight forwards onto the front tyre. If you apply any sort of slowing down force, it's always going to rotate the bike around the bit that's slowing it down. In this case, you're going onto a smaller part of the tyre, you're not actually braking, but the engine's starting to slow you down. But the pivot point for the part that's actually slowing you for the tyre is there. So everything rear of there lifts, which isn't very much. The lack of tail tire in my case. And everything forward of there presses down. So as you're going into the bend, that means weight transfers off the rear tyre onto the front, pushing the front tyre into the ground more. And all the time that you're doing that, all the time that that thing's slowing down, while it sorts itself out, the weight's transferred forwards. And the bike's no longer balanced. As it catches up, as it kind of slows down to the speed it wants to be doing, and everything's about right if you've not done anything else, then the bike will settle, and the weight will transfer back off the front wheel and settle back onto the rear. And the problem there is, of course, that it's now changing the balance of the bike mid-corner, which is liable to upset your line and make you spear off into the bushes or drop it or do something silly. The other thing is that in that initial part, when there's a lot of weight pushed to the front, it actually makes it harder to steer. So that doesn't really help you for fast turning either. So exercise 3, the idea is that you do everything from exercise 1. So you're approaching a bend, you're planning your position that you're going to turn in, you're weighting up the outside peg. As you get to the corner, you're pushing the inside bar. So for a left-hander, pushing, maybe a bit of pull to help it round, to counter steer in, then you're maintaining that pressure. As with exercise 2, while you're doing this, you're looking through the corner. So you're working out exactly where you're going and looking at it and using your periphery to actually pick your turning in point. So you're turning your head just before that turning in point. And then the exercise 3 adds that as soon as you start to turn in, you roll on the throttle just a little bit. And it's just a little bit so that rather than the weight transferring to the front, you maintain the balance of the bike. So that acceleration keeps the wheel spinning, gets the wheel spinning a bit faster, and stops it from slowing you down from the back, stops the weight transference to the front, and keeps the bike nice and balanced. And in theory, your corners should be much smoother, much easier to hold the line. No unexpected movements mid-bend. That's the theory. Now I've come to a different road to my normal one, because this road's got bends on that are quite a lot faster. So I can do this whole road at about the speed limit, exactly the speed limit, without having to worry about slowing down or anything like that. This bike has got a very sensitive throttle, obviously a litre bike, and it's got all of the new Euro regulations on it that mean that low down in the rev range, all they're worried about is emissions, not actually smoothness. So on really tight bends, it's too easy to drop in a lot of throttle accidentally with just the tiniest movement. So I thought I'll come to some faster bends to practice this, and then maybe later on as I get better at it, I'll start doing it a little bit better and a little bit slower, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go through these bends. If you want to know where they are, if you're from this area, you probably already know anyway, but this is, up there is Bainton, down that end is Beverley, and this is the road that joins the two together, and it's wonderful. If you've been on my Yorkshire ride out, it was the bit we used to get to the starting point. Lovely piece of road. So, on with the exercise. Right, off we go, and we're heading down towards the first bend. Now, for the first practice, it says you should try and understand what's happening when you don't do it. So if you already do a bit of rolling on, and you're following these through, you're going to have to kind of practice without. I'm really bad at rolling on, so it's easy. So for this one, all the usual things, but off the throttle for the bend. And then as you turn, you're trying to actually realise that the bike doesn't want to turn in because of that weight that's pushed onto the front wheel. So what I'll do it again at this one. It certainly didn't feel good. Of course, what you don't want to be doing is finding out you can't turn in and going through the bushes. But so throttle off and turn, and it just feels awful actually. I must do it a bit already. So that's the one thing that you've got to notice before you try it. Now, for the rest of the bends, once you've understood what it is you're trying to get rid of, the idea is that you follow the normal process. So I'm going to do it, not for this bend because this one's very, very slight anyway. I'm going to take an odd line just in case that guy's coming out. I don't think he is. So let's find a bend to try on. There's a nice one coming up. This one that tightens up. So, left leg weighted, fix my turning in point, looking through the bend, turning, and then it's going to tighten for this one, so I have to do it twice, and roll on. And the idea is, you should notice, although I was too busy concentrating on that car that was pulling out anyway, you should notice that you don't get that weight transference, and if anything, there's a weight transference to the back. So let's try again. So turn in and roll on. Now I can actually hear, I don't know if you can, but I can actually hear the engine note getting higher as I do that. So I'm definitely rolling on, and you should hear the engine note get higher, because if it was to stay the same, so it's been a fire or something there and damaged the road surface. Yeah, if the engine note was to stay the same, that would mean the wheel was spinning at the same rate at the back and slowing you down. So here are some nice, I really like these bends, and I get annoyed when there's a car in front of me. So let's do it. So right peg weighted, pick my turning point, look through and roll on. And I'm rolling on all the way around. And then as I come out, I'm rolling off again. And I'm going to be straight into this one and rolling on again. And transfer to the other side. And I can't roll on because this guy's slowing down in front of me. I'll get past him in a second. But yeah, that you can definitely tell that there is a massive improvement in the way the bike feels through that bend. And I would say that it's not as massive over as it would be over my normal riding, but it is better, I think, than my kind of lazy route through the bends. But it's certainly very noticeable compared to not rolling on at all, which means that, you know, it exaggerates the effect, doesn't it? And it allows you to see the effect that you're trying to get away from. But certainly it feels like the bike is more willing to turn. I don't need to put anywhere near as much force in. So roll on. Yeah. I like that. Again, it's another step, it's another thing to think about, and doing all of this consciously at the minute is quite hard work, it has to be said. Certainly you're going to find yourself coming out of corners with a speedo higher than you expect, but of course when you stand the bike up again and roll off again, it's going to come down again, isn't it? So roll on. And that's my excuse. If it looks like I'm speeding, if my speedo came into view and it looked like I was speeding, obviously I wasn't, officer. I was just tipped over, and it gives you a lower score. Speed, not score. Cool. Well, I'm going to practice this some more. If you're playing along, and I don't know yet because I've only uploaded the first video so far. I'm probably going to upload the second one today. It's the 1st of October, so you can check if I did or not. But I'm probably going to upload the second one today, which is the first exercise. But so far I've only uploaded the intro. And I know that quite a few people have already downloaded the PDF document and have said that they're either going to try it or have tried it, and some have said that they've actually enjoyed trying it, enjoyed having some good results out of it. So hopefully it turns out to be a good thing. So it's going to be left leg weighted, left foot peg weighted, picking my turning in point, looking through the bend, getting ready to push and roll on. Slightly trickier on right-handers than left, I would say, because you've got to control that throttle at the same time. But not too bad. It does bring up a thought. If you're actually entering a bend too quickly, your natural reaction generally is to roll off, isn't it? So you think you're entering a bend too quickly, you roll off, and you're actually going to find it harder to steer into the bend. Does that mean you should roll on, even if you think you're going through too quick? I wonder. Probably the way I go into corners then says yes, because I'm not the fastest rider. I've managed to hurt myself on a bike already. I'm old enough to have had quite a few broken bones in my time, so I do exercise a bit of caution here and there. But I suppose it goes with the idea of slowing fast out as well, doesn't it? A bit bad on the rolling on then. I just pulled it on a little bit too much there, just to give it a bit of a snap, and then my natural reaction was to roll off again. That exaggerates the problem that you're actually trying to avoid, of course, which is the problem that it snapped on, throwing the weight to the back of the bike, and that automatically, without thinking, I just released that bit of pressure and threw the weight back to the front again, and that unsettled the bike and made it do a bit of a wobble. Nothing fantastic, you probably won't even see it on the camera, but enough to unsettle the rider. Enough to make you think about what's going on rather than just having a nice smooth line through. Anyway, it is now starting to rain. Boo! I think, given that this rain is getting nice and hard and I've only got my leathers on, that, well, for one, I'm going to take my phone off the handlebars and get it somewhere waterproof. But I think I'm going to head back and stop practicing fast cornering, where I might be a bit jerky on the throttle, until so it's a bit drier. These tyres are not quite there yet. I haven't got me new tyres on basically because I'm too lazy to put them on. But and 2 Yorkshire, I want to get a few more miles out of these, even though I don't really like them that much. So I shall call that one a day. I'll just say thank you for watching. Ride safe, everybody. Let me know how you get on with these exercises. And I mean, if anybody's doing them as a vlogger, I'd be really interested to see videos if people are practicing it and see how we get on with it. If you do, let me know about them so I can watch them, of course. And I'll give you a shout out for it as well. Let people know where to go and see other people doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Ride safe. And I'll talk to you all again soon.